Hey guys, alright, so I know what you're pretty much all thinking right now as soon as you see this video is not another Wave 3 video. Yeah, this isn't going to be what you probably thought it was. I'm not going to do, a whole review on these guys and all that, but I do want to talk about them real quick. Some things that most people haven't gone over, things that I've noticed, little things that I found here and there as this goes on. Just the wave in general, I don't think it's a bad wave. Yeah, of course we got a lot of repaints, remolds, whatever, and of course Iron Man's a completely new mold and all, but in all honesty, I think people are just complaining a little too much. If you don't want it, don't buy it. No one's making you buy these figures. Yeah, I know that we've gotten screwed out of a lot of things that we could have gotten instead of in this wave. Like a couple of new characters, completed teams, and this, that, and the other thing. Doom is obviously an unnecessary character, but I do really like that Doom. We know the obvious already. We know how obviously the Deadpool is the same exact Deadpool, just repaint it as the 2-pack version, and we know Mystique is the same as Madam Hydra, like pretty much 100%. Just she's got new guns or something like that. And we know that the Iron Man is a completely new mold. Same hands though, actually, from the 2-pack one, and I believe they're the same hands. They're small too, so they look kind of funny. Doom is obviously from the Ronan series. He's just repainted, but it's a really good repaint. I actually wish they would have gone with this type of scheme when they made it for the Ronin. But Punisher, we know he's parts of the old Punisher and Nick Fury jacket, and he's got some new guns. Obviously, they're the same guns as Mystique, except for the shotgun, I want to say, and a new head. And I'm going to get more into that. Oh, and the belt's new too. And then we know that the U.S. agent is Bucky Cap mold, just shorter, or just new head and new belt. And he is short, but other than that, I'm going to get into all of these guys individually, and I'll talk more about how they appeal to me and why I think you guys should definitely pick them up, and they're good to have. If you don't want the wave, don't buy it, but I'm not going to knock it because I went and bought it. So there's a few things I don't like, but there's a lot of things I do like. And I just think that a lot of people just like to complain because they've got nothing better to do. At the cons, we've seen, the people who didn't even go, New York and San Diego, a lot of people have probably heard that there's collectors from the Marvel Legends community that have been bugging Dwight and Vonner and Jesse Falcon all for weapons. Well, we got them. We got a ton of weapons in this wave. They can only do so much because of what they're allowed. There's a lot of things that they don't tell us because there's a lot of things they can't say. And that's, they can say, oh, well, I wanted to do this build-a-figure, I wanted to do this figure or whatever, but Hasbro turned it down. Well, that could be their job right there. So they have to tell you what they can tell you. They can't just say, oh, well, I want to do this figure, but, so-and-so says I can't. Like, if they told you stuff like that, it would be unprofessional, and they wouldn't have a job. They need to sell what they are allowed to make. And if they have a team of people where they come up with these figures, so what? This is what they come up with. If you don't like it, don't buy it. That's my main thing. But yeah, that was one of the main complaints, was to get weapons out. I remember that. I was at New York Comic Con last year, and I remember specifically talking to Dwight Saul, and I must have been with like 5 or 6 people that said to him, weapons, we need weapons. I was with a lot more people, but I remember there was a lot of people talking about weapons, and they were talking about paint apps. Get cleaner on your paint apps. These paint apps are great. Like all of these figures, I would say the only thing that's missing is Iron Man does not have matching shoulder pads. They look kind of funny in person. They look better on camera, I'm going to say that. But like the shading and the paint in these figures are amazing. Like I don't see anything wrong with the paint. Well, obviously we all know the Punisher teeth the skull teeth on the Punisher aren't painted all the way down. If you guys didn't know that, now you know. But like I said, I'm not going to talk about the things that we already know. So anyway, that was another thing. The only thing that I think that we kind of got screwed out of, other than the fact that they're remolds and, they didn't, they're going to make more money than what they spent in this wave, but they need to do that to bring us better stuff. That's the way companies go. So I'm sure they're not happy, but they can't say that. They can't say, oh, I'm not, I'm upset that we didn't get to do this and this, that, and the other thing. Like, they have to sell what they produce, and they have guidelines that they have to, maybe they don't always tell the truth when it comes to that, or they beat around the bush or whatever, but that's a whole different topic. I'm just talking about like the honest things that go on in Hasbro. So the one thing that we mainly got was these stands that came with these figures. Yes, I am extremely pissed we didn't get a Build-A-Figure. They could have easily thrown a Build-A-Figure into here. They could have used anything to any of the older Build-A-Figures to actually give us, something. They could have even used an Ares as a re-release. Make him, Dark Avengers Ares. They could have called him something different. They could have gone a lot of different ways with the Build-A-Figures. They could have gave us a Build-A-Figure Hulk if they wanted to, just using the red Hulk pieces and the head from the 2-pack Hulk. They could have done anything but give us these stands, but there must have been a reason why they did it. I don't know why it is, but these are actually really cool. I like them. As you can see, I made this pretty big platform here. You can use it as a wall. These lighter gray pieces are from the Spider-Man series figures, so I think they're cool. I'd wish, this wave would have been perfect to me if it would have came with a Build-A-Figure piece and this, because we were asking for stands too. I remember that's another thing. You got all these figures on their shelf, or on your shelves, and their legs start bowing out because it's hot, it's cold. I'm not going to start singing Katy Perry, but you guys get what I'm saying. It's easier to keep them pegged into something and leave them alone. They won't fall over, and their legs don't bow. So this is cool that they threw it in there, but I just, what's Marvel Legends without a Build-A-Figure? That's kind of how I think of it. But I mean, ordering these from Big Bad Toy Store, it wasn't that expensive. I would have been pissed if I would have had to get the whole wave from Toys R Us, because it would have been $20 a figure, and that's just insane. I heard that it's going up to $22.99 in some areas. So I'm gonna stop ranting at this part, and I'm gonna get into each and every individual figure now. Okay, so we're starting with my least favorite of the bunch, and I know a lot of people are in love with this figure right now. They really like it. I'm not saying it's a bad figure, it's just not very appealing to me. It's cool that they actually went and did this armor, because it's another, like, obviously it's called classic, neoclassic armor. It's a classical armor. It's one that a lot of people have seen multiple times, and we just didn't see it out yet. And I feel like they should have just stuck with their original idea, where they had him painted yellow and blue, and wow, I almost said blue, yellow and red, and not the moon boots that he's got there, and put him in the Iron Man series. That's what they were going to do. And I actually liked it that way. It was nice. It would have been nicer and easier for him to stand, but you know, I guess they just didn't have an idea for another figure for this wave just yet, or they couldn't afford to throw in another one, so they figured, hey, we already tooled this guy up, let's just, you know, put him out. Or maybe they'll come out with the other version in the Iron Man Classics line. Who knows? But yeah, the pro about this figure, the really nice things about this figure is that it's an armor we don't have, obviously. He has really, really nice paint. Like, the gold is perfect. It's, you know, Iron Man gold. And the red is really nice too. But there is spots, like I've got a little white spot right there on my my boot, which I wish it didn't have it because I can't get it off. Might be able to use some paint thinner or something. But I feel like they were one coat short of this figure. They should have went and painted him one more time with the red and the yellow, because it just didn't come out as clean as it should have. And they should have painted the elbow pad or shoulder pads, which you can't see. He is really short, which I don't like. My thoughts on this figure being short is they could have easily made him taller originally when they were sizing him, and you know, before they produced him, because he's a single figure. They're not going to use this base for anything else, and if they do, it's probably going to be something of the same size. So they could have easily given us a, you know, a figure that's maybe like a half-inch, quarter-inch taller, you know, look like a man in a suit. And his hands, I wish they would have used another Iron Man's hands, just because they are so small. It looks like it just looks like there's girl hands on them. They look kind of, you know, funky. I have taken them off and put on the movie figure hands, and it does look better. If they were painted to fit the color scheme, and if the pegs weren't so long, it would work out pretty well with this figure. I'm not going to show you right now on camera just because I don't feel like digging for the figure, but when you replace his hands, it looks pretty cool. So just keep that in mind, that you can do little things. You know, you can even use what they probably used is clear red. You can probably get away with using Tamiya clear red to paint those shoulder pads if you really wanted to. But me, he's just going to go in the armory, so I can really care less. And another thing that they could have done to make him a little bit better is on his feet there, because they only go left and right, which most of us already know, and they give us a boot swivel, which is weird. They could have this could even help make him taller. You know, this actually could have solved the problem right here if they would have done what they did with the Spider-Man Classics Juggernaut. You know, that's a horrible figure. Well, from the arms it is, I think. But they could have given him a ball joint in his ankle. That's what they did with him, and it works very well. So they could have given him a ball joint, and the foot could have been the socket, and then he would have been able to move all over the place. That would have been cool. And most of us know he's lacking the hinge joint to look up, but like I said, he's going in the armory. I'm not doing any flying poses with him. So yeah, that's Iron Man. Okay, next up is Punisher. And I know I got kind of sidetracked with Iron Man and the pros and cons with him, but I'm just gonna talk about it. There's no specific yes or no. But yeah, like I said, next up is Punisher, and he obviously comes with a lot of guns. He's got a shotgun over there, and some type of machine gun, and then a little Uzi thing, and then this infamous white sniper rifle that everybody's so upset about. Why, I don't know. I think the white's cool. Cool theme. Goes with Punisher. 90s Punisher figures from Toy Biz, I remember they had themed weapons with him. You know, anything had Punisher themed when it came out with Punisher. You know, the Punisher van. Like, what kind of badass guy with a bunch of guns drives a van? This guy. Who cares? You know, he's the Punisher. The reason why I'm kind of like on the fence about this gun is because the only reason I guess you could say I don't really like it is because it doesn't fit him well. He can't hold it. he can't, you know, he can probably hold it with one hand. I haven't really tried yet, but I already know that he can't hold it with the two hands and hold it up to his eye, which is completely pointless. But anyway, this gun, white. Okay, who cares if it's white? I remember I was talking with Bob the Odd and a couple other people. I don't remember who the other person was exactly, but they were saying, you know, a sniper rifle, you know what, it might have been, I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter what color the sniper rifle is, because, you know, you're like 50 yards, maybe even more than that away. You're not going to see what color the gun is when you have a bullet in your head. This guy's already walking around with white boots, a white pouch thing, and a white skull on his shirt, and a bunch of guns. Who cares what color the gun was? The dead guy can't tell you what color the gun is. So now that I got that out of my system, you know, I mean, it's cool. Like, it would have been the only thing I can say that I don't like about the white is the fact that it doesn't fit with him as a modern character, I guess you could say. The way I see it is, if this had some shading on it and it was white, cool. But it just doesn't look like it fits in with him. That's the only thing I can say. I don't care if it's white. It's just the fact that it's not shaded and it doesn't look real. It looks like a toy gun for a guy, you know? I mean, he is a toy, and that's a toy, but you guys get what I'm saying, I hope. So I'm going to take these guns out of his hands just because. He does have the Nick Fury hands, I believe, so he's very able to hold his guns. I don't know what I was trying to say there. But anyway, we all know the coat, Phantom X, Nick Fury, all of the above. Probably a future Gambit and a couple other things. I love this head sculpt. Most people have a problem with it. I think it's awesome. It reminds me of Punisher, reminds me of the cartoon. It reminds me of how I like to see him, because I've seen a couple different Punishers, and I really do like the way he looks. It's bigger, fits the character. He's got a little Jerry curl. You know, it's cool. I like the head. This figure, this is one of the figures I was talking about shading. They don't have to shade white, but they did. They did on the belt, they did it on the boots, and it looks awesome. He's got his little gun on the side. We all know the articulation is what it is, so I'm not going to go over that. But for the most part, you know, he's got a 5 o'clock shadow and everything. He's got that stink face going on. Oh, I'm not even on his head. There you go. He's got that some stinks face going on. So yeah, this is one of my favorite figures so far. I really like it. You know, it sucks that he's not very posable, and he can't do much with his guns, but I like him as a Punisher figure. Next up, we got our U.S. agent here, and I just want to pretty much say this figure is awesome. You know, we all like the Bucky cap. He's a, you know, decent figure, and this is pretty much the same thing, I think, except for obviously the head, the belt, and it's also the hands, or lower arms, I should say, the lower arms. But other than that, it's pretty much the same exact mold. So I don't know if everybody knows this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. The gun and the knife are not able to be stored anywhere because he does not have loops for him or holsters for him on his belt. They could have just used the Bucky cap belt. It would have been completely fine, but it's cool to see that they gave us a brand new belt also at the same time. So I took it upon myself to look for a way to store these, and I'm probably going to find a way to store the gun, but I did find a place for the knife. Back here on the shield, it actually stayed. There's a little just spot where the hinge and the peg goes into his back. It fits pretty good on his back, and it doesn't hinder it at all from being, you know, on his back or anything. Doesn't push it out or whatever. It's just like a little spot. You can see the left-hand side, there's that hole, and that's where I have the knife on the right-hand side. So his main problem is that he can't hold anything in his left hand, because the opening is more like this than, you know, closed in, where he can actually hold the knife, which he can't. So that's upsetting. I do love the gun that he comes with. I do love the paint apps. They're really cool. I do love the head sculpt. The shield looks good. Everything looks so good on the camera right now. I mean, at least from my point of view. One thing that I do notice, and this is probably just a mold issue. His legs tend to bend because here's the Bucky. They have some problem with warping because of the plastic being so soft. You can see them side by side, and the cool thing about it is, if you're going to use a body, you know, over again, if you can make it look like a whole new character and hide some things, awesome, go for it. You know, especially if the body's good. So this is a mold that I do like. I just wish they would have made him a little bit bigger, just for sake of other characters. I don't know how tall Bucky really is, or U.S. Agent, but it would have looked cooler, because I think it's easier to fit in characters with previous figures than it is to, you know, start a whole new mold. And that's what the problem is here. Is just they're having trouble fitting in with other sizes, but you can make it work with some camera tricks and this, that, and the other thing. So I do like this figure a lot. I think the head sculpt's really cool. I like the fact that they changed up the arms. You know, like I said, if you can make it look like a whole different character, then go for it. And that's what they did here. Alright, here we go. Now we have Mystique here. And, yeah, for this character, I wish they would have done something a little different. I do like the fact that she has that head sculpt in a way. I just wish they would have did something different with the hair, because they did kind of piece form this figure with other pieces. I know I probably said this in the beginning, and I was wrong about it. I didn't realize it until later, but this is actually the 2-pack Black Widow mold. It's not the Madam Hydra. It's the Madam Hydra head and the Madam Hydra belt, but the rest of it is all, I mean, it's the same mold, but the upper body and stuff is, and the arms are all Black Widow. So I'm going to put her next to Madam Hydra here. And see, this figure, if Mystique would have came out before Madam Hydra, people might have been happier, just because I hate getting these things to stand. This mold is the worst to stand. It's horrible, by the way. Anyway, so she would have came out before. I think people would have been happier, just because of the fact that she's painted very well. The shading, especially like on her chest and her stomach and everything, the variation in blues is very nice. It looks like an actual blue skin tone. You know, I was afraid that she was going to be solid blue, and that would have been, you know, ugh, horrific. I don't think she has much shading in her hair, but it's there, which is, you know, whatever. And the other thing is, she came with a lot of guns, so I think that would have been approval for a lot of people. But the fact that they reused Madam Hydra's head, which everybody hates, and you know, the Black Widow, I think that upset a lot of people. Although I'm looking at it, her cheekbones look a little bit different than her cheekbones, and chin line too. I wonder if they just tooled it or shrunk the head down a little bit, because that's what it looks like to me. Anyway, comes with an Uzi, comes with a rifle, comes with the gun that she comes with, and also the sniper rifle, which I like it in this color scheme a lot more. Wish it was had, like, you know, a black wash or a gray wash on the silvery gray plastic. That would have been cool. but no biggie. I don't care. That rifle can be used for a lot of people. And I think that's all I got for Mystique right now. Right, yep, so Doctor Doom. It. And Doctor Doom is probably the best Doctor Doom here that has been out. I like him better than the Toy Biz one. I know people are going to be flipping crap right now just because I said that. But I love this mold. Like, I love the way it looks. It's very Doom to me. It looks clean. He doesn't need to be super articulated. He doesn't need to be super posable. Everything works well with this figure because he's not a very flexible character. You're not going to see him stick in the walls like Spider-Man or, you know, or in some crazy dynamic pose. He's Doctor Doom. He stands there and shoots electricity or whatever at you. That's what he does, you know. That's him. And the fact that this is painted so well, this is what makes me have higher hopes for the future of Hasbro. The metal, like metal looking stuff on his body, his armor, whatever, is perfect. It's very nice looking metal. Yeah, this is like the remold or whatever. I know. I'm just ignoring that for now. But like I said, the remold or the metal is very nice. It doesn't need to be shaded because he's not shaded. He's shiny. He's supposed to look very nice and clean, and that's what it looks like. If they could have given us a little wash on the rope here just so you can tell that it's a rope, that would have been the only like paint complaint that I have about that. But that, you know, that's no big deal. He has a holster with his gun in it. He has a trigger hand. He has a I'm gonna zap you with my power hand, which is perfect. He has his cape that comes off. The articulation here is perfect for him because it fits in with the ruffleness of his... Alright, so the camera ran out of memory there. I'm sorry about that. This little pause. But anyway, like I was saying, the articulation fits in perfect with him, in his, especially in his stomach, because it, you know, it's not some crazy ab joint, which he doesn't need. He bends forward, he bends back, whatever. It's perfect. I don't care what anybody says. And the green on his outfit is the perfect green for Doctor Doom. I think it's very forest-looking green. It's a nice color. His cape is a nice color. There's a little mark down here. I didn't see that until now, but his cape is very nice. It looks like a, you know, cool little cape. It's kind of flexible. It's everything you need it to be for, you know, Doctor Doom. So, like I said, the cape comes off, and he looks kind of cool. His head's a little big just because this is a mask, but they went in and they painted the little mouthpiece, which is cool. That's really cool to see that, you know. It's a copper color and then the black behind it. So, it's really neat to see them actually go ahead and paint certain areas that need to be painted, you know. And like I said, that this comes off. The only thing I could say that I don't like about this figure is his face. I think he's very like Freddy Krueger meets like I'm about to pick my nose face, because he's got like that raised nostril, like he's smirking. I feel like, I don't know, I don't really know how Doom's face looks in the more recent comics, but it's very detailed. I like the wash. I like the paint and everything that has to do with the face. I just don't like this face. I wish they could have just given us a new one. You know, they could have used the same mold. It just, you know, resculpt the face to make it more up to date, you know, with the other figures. So, real quick, I got my Ronin Doom here. I'm going to pull him out and show you the comparison if you don't already know. Here he is. I don't know if that satchel came with him or if I put that on myself, but there's the satchel from something. So you can see that this is more cartoony looking than this one. And I mean, I do like this figure. I just wish that he would have been him, I guess, at the time. But I'm going to take this off so that it kind of looks more like him. You can see that the head, well, maybe you can, that the head on this one is very weak. You know, the paint apps are not there, and this is, you know, there, totally there. So I'll take this off so you can see the face. They did do some paint apps on the face on this one, but you can see the comparison in these two. Let me see if I can get them a little bit closer. They might have to overlap each other just a little bit, so I can get in closer. But you can definitely tell that, you know, there's a lot more detail in it with the right one, the way it's painted, than the left one. So there is my Doom comparison. And yeah, I think that's it for Dr. Doom. Like I said, I do recommend this figure. I like this figure a lot. I think it's cool. Definitely can replace this guy. So, alright, so on to my favorite. Of course, my favorite figure of this wave is Deadpool, just because I love X-Force, and the fact that we get to complete a team here is awesome. You know, aside from X-23 and Wolfsbane being out of the team, and Deathlock, and like a couple other characters, I'm not saying like any specific team in general, but the fact that we got another X-Force character is really cool. And everybody gets a chance to get a Deadpool, because these guys are 2 per case. The red ones are going to be 2 per case. Really cool, you know. I like that Hasbro did that. This is like I feel like this wave is more like a filler wave. You know, get some things that you didn't get to get, you know, get some guns and some stands if you want them. It's more like an option wave, you know. I believe the first wave of 2013 is going to start early. So that, you know, the fact that this is just there until then is kind of cool. You know, I know a lot of people who are knocking this wave mainly pick it up for this guy, and you know, without this wave there wouldn't be this figure, I guess. So you should be kind of happy about that. Anyway, I'm gonna stop complaining about people. It comes with this gun, which is cool. Nice little paint apps on the gun. You don't really see that. I can understand it, because they don't really have time to sit there and paint all the guns and, you know, pay somebody to do that. But he's wearing the wrong harness, but it's no big deal. You can replace it. And they weren't going to sculpt a new harness just for this figure for this wave. But we all know the problems with the body. Gets kind of annoying. The head's kind of big, but it's no big deal. I do like some of the detail. The gun's a little small looking, and it's cool to have swords. You know, can never go wrong with these swords. But he's got awesome shading throughout the figure, and if you can see the darker tones in his arm on the side here, as opposed to these here, that's what I was kind of talking about. And his leg has them right here. I mean, it's all over the figure. I'm just pointing out the more obvious areas where I think it would come up on the camera. But, you know, this figure is perfect for what I was saying in the beginning of this video, is that people are complaining about paint apps. People are complaining about character distribution. People are complaining about weapons. You know, this is the perfect figure. The most popular guy probably in the Marvel Universe is Deadpool. People love him. People who don't even know who he is love him. You know, you always see that kid with the Deadpool shirt on, and you say, nice shirt, you know, whatever. I'm not going to get into that, but you get what I'm saying. People like Deadpool just because he's Deadpool. They might not know anything about him. They might know everything about him. People who say they hate the character, they're probably lying. You know, who can hate this character? His character's got a cool story. He's funny. You know, even the more serious Deadpool comics are good too. But we're all used to the funny Deadpool, which is cool too. And the fact that he's in X-Force, you know, that's even cooler. And he's a really good supporting character in X-Force, because X-Force is about killing people. It's about doing the things that nobody else wants to do. And then you got this guy to lighten the mood sometimes, or just say the unexpected. If he wasn't there, I feel like it'd be very, very bland. That's just my opinion. But awesome figure, awesome that we get the another X-Force character and we get to complete something. And awesome that he comes with weapons and he's painted very well. That's, you know, they could have went a Phantom X route and he could have been solid gray. And it would look funny, because Phantom X is that solid white. That's the only reason why I said that. I wish they would have shaded him with some gray, but you know, instead they went and did this, which is cool. I think it's cool that they re-released the red one, or they're going to. I wish they would have done it with an alternate head, like an unmasked head or something like that. Just because, you know. But it gives everybody a chance to get a Deadpool, and to have an X-Force Deadpool is just as good, in my opinion. So, alright, that's it for my Wave 3 mini kind of rant review, whatever. And next up, I have just a little haul. That's it. And just when you thought that I was done with some epic hauls, yeah, so pretty much got really lucky here. I got these figures from a I guess you could say an old friend. I've bought a lot of figures from him here and there, just as I build my collection. He started off just selling his own, and then ended up just buying more figures and then selling them. So he buys and sells kind of in a way, and he's reasonable, a little more than reasonable, I would say. He made a good deal here with me, I guess just because I've been a buyer for quite some time. But anyway, as you can see here, I got a Hulkbuster Iron Man. He was pretty much just shelf displayed, perfect condition. Everything is there. The only thing he doesn't have is the flight thing, but I have one, so it's no big deal. I got in a lot. Here we have a little Wasp from the Goliath Giant Man, and there's like an Ant-Man too, but I wanted her just to have her because, you know, she was there. So and then we got Miss Marvel. This is a really cool Miss Marvel. I've never had this figure just because I knew she was so expensive. I love the articulation on her and everything. This is what a woman body should look like as far as action figures go. She's got every piece of articulation you can want, and it doesn't look stupid. Like, she looks really good. So that's a really cool figure, and the fact that they throw in other kind of plastics was cool. You know, the flexible kind, flexible hair. She can look up. I mean, it doesn't stay because of the hair, but the fact that it's flexible enough that you can somehow get her in a flying pose if you really tried. The option is what would count it, you know. Toy Biz was cool with that. But I'm gonna move her out of the way. And then we got Ant-Man. Really cool. He wasn't even really touched, I don't think, because I mean, all this is in perfect condition. The helmet comes off, and well, it's kind of stuck on there right now. I'm not gonna bother with it, but no scuffs. The joints were cracking when I would move them. I just moved the ankle like 2 seconds before I started the video, and it made that new toy cracking sound. And by cracking, I mean like not breaking. It's just the sound that it makes when it moves, because it hasn't been posed ever. So this is pretty cool. He's really good condition. And then we got our Fire Super Scroll, which is really cool. Didn't get the alternate arms, which I don't really care about, you know. I thought this guy looked really neat when I first saw him, so I'm glad that I got him now. I don't want to spend $40 on him. It's insane. I spent $40 on the clear one at the con, the Philly Comic Con, so I want to do the same for him. And then lastly, we finally have Giant Man, who is missing a antenna and has a little scuff on his nose. So I plan on just swapping the head out, because I need a Kitty Pryde anyway, so I was going to buy one mint-on card and just swap the head out. So, really cool, and I'm super, super stoked to finally have this Build-A-Figure. Definitely the best one ever. Best articulation, best sculpt, everything. It's just really cool. Paint apps are great. Just one great Build-A-Figure. So, alright guys, that's it. I didn't have much for this week. I'm kind of slacking on, you know, keeping up with ideas for the show, and I'm sorry for those who do watch and, you know, actually enjoyed this. If you want me to bring back Crack It Open, I will. It's just that I have everything kind of packed away now that I'm working on that room, so I can go and dig it out if you guys want. Just let me know in the comments and stuff. And other than that, you know, comment, rate, subscribe, all that other stuff. Join us on ACBA. You know, add me on Facebook, all the good stuff, talk, whatever. And, you know, come do these Google Hangouts with us. It's real fun. We do that, and sometimes Tiny Chat, depending on how we feel or how the person who starts them feels. So, like I said, come join us, come get involved, be part of the community. You know, you don't have to be somebody, you know, big to come and talk to us. I don't consider myself as a big person in the community. I just like to get involved and I enjoy doing this and sharing this with other people. So, anyway, that's it. That's all I got, and have a good one.